Hello and welcome. So I've decided to do a quick video capturing one of my dailies for the Pahvo event. So I'm using the Cnadarian Defender, aka the Jelly, which everybody absolutely loves, as we've seen from a lot of comments. Now, the idea is that these are always AFK, and there's no doubt there is some of them, but in its own defence, the devs did give us the ship that you could AFK in if you wanted to, and this does actually do damage and heals. So even if the player is AFK, they still contribute to the TFO. So I'm just going to record my run, and we'll see how it goes. I have seen other players AFKing in ships, and literally just sitting at beta the entire time. I had one the other day where the player in question wasn't activating the satellites, he wasn't, or should I say they weren't attacking targets or anything, so I parked myself at beta. Once we'd done the first phase, I activated all the satellites and hit jelly mode. And they sat there, in my bubble, quite a thing, not a single shot fired. Then the last minute I think they realised that they hadn't actually done any damage in the TFO and they were probably going to get an AFK penalty. So watching them run about like a headless chicken was slightly satisfying. So my approach to this TFO when I'm using the jelly is that first phase I stay in ship form, do the satellite activations, and then depending if I'm by myself on the satellite, which I may or may not be in a second, I'll hit both sides, the front and the side, with the enemies incoming, and then I'll reactivate all the satellites again. Then I'll head over to beta, park myself up, and then I can take out the dreads and all the incoming ships, and beta doesn't drop at all when I do that. Now I promise you I won't be talking the entire way through the TFO, because who wants to listen to a mad Scotsman for that length of time? And of course the one that I decide to record has to be the one with what they tried to pass off in Discovery as Klingons. Couldn't just get the Terrans like I'd normally get. Oh no, that would be far too easy. What I probably should do is put the parser on, since I have it set up. I did put the combat log on, and I did mean to put the parser up before the TFO started, and completely forgot about it. The one downside of doing recording of the dailies is when my kids are about and they have a tendency to run in unannounced, which is extremely helpful. I do, but rather than having a time gate on it, they would just change these TFOs to say eliminate X amount of waves of enemies. At least that way, if you've got a decent team and with some DPS players, you can just rattle through it. But obviously, about the time they were trying to get the player engagement up, trying to make the stats look good. And who doesn't love a good viral impulse burst every so often?
Warning, ship is under attack.
Satellite upgrades are now available.
Yep. First wave done. Again with the time gating for the briefing. Who needs that long to be told go and do the satellites? That's me got beta ready. I don't know why Lexa's coming over here, but probably looking for an easy time in the TFO by the looks of things. So I generally try and park about 5k off the satellite.
Enemy flagships are coming to attack.
There we go, everybody's favourite mode. And then for the next 4 and a bit minutes, this is pretty much what I do. Activate the quickies. Hit the spam bar. And just make sure everything gets taken care of. no matter how many times I save this loadout, it never seems to stay where it's supposed to. Point actually, better check the roster, make sure I've got all the right ones on. Yep, I do. But as you can see from the parser, it certainly is contributing to the TFO. Now, there was a bit of a discussion on Discord yesterday as one player had been banned because he got reported as AFK in a jelly, doing exactly what I'm doing just now. And the conversations he was having with the mods was not very conducive from what we gathered. So a few of the other players had some good ideas, such as doing exactly what I'm doing here. So combat log on, so you can show that you are doing DPS, you are contributing, and also record. There we can. So I use a program called OBS. It's a free program, desktop capture, and use it for all the videos. There are several ones out there that are for free as well. So if you are concerned about using a jelly in a pug environment and worried about getting banned for being reported as AFK, then recording the runs, the parser, always you've got evidence that you can challenge it on, should it ever happen to yourself. Now, I've been fortunate, I don't get any abuse in the chat, even though my chat window is actually shut at the moment. I'll put up. About using the jelly at all, I know some players do get some rather colourful comments, which I can't quite grasp the thinking behind it. I suppose there'll always be those players that are either jealous or don't quite understand, you know, doing the builds and that on these ships, that you can tank and do damage. So there we are. Plain and simple. Straightforward, as you can see. Did plenty of damage. Beta never dropped at all.
Well done.
And
We'll continue to
certainly
render
activating all the clickies and
back. We'll be ready for them.
abilities on it as well. So definitely not AFKing, so it shows that folk in the jellies may or may not be doing AFK, and the only way to really know is to do a parser on it, see if they're activating any abilities or clickies, and take it from there. But yeah, so that's my first run of the day done. I do have a free to play account to go and do it on as well, but I generally do the ground version on that one. And yeah, so happy days, people. And that'll wrap up this video. So as always, do have a quick look in the description. Got links there to Casual Sam, the KNB, MC Stu, and their Twitch and YouTube's in there. We've also got the STO wiki and the Star Trek Online news blog, as well as my social medias as well, so my X and my Boys guy. So, a bit of an impromptu video, but felt like it could, well, should have been done. So, hope you enjoy it, and I'll catch you all in the next video or the next live stream.